Alright, so in this tutorial called Rhino Architecture, how to model Convention Center Heidelberg in Rhino, I'll show you some techniques that we will use to create this hall. I actually wanted to show you how to implement some of the 3D models that you can find online and import them in Rhino. And we will also go over how to set up the lighting to have this kind of effect in Rhino. So I'm not going to model the whole building. I will just model this this area, and I will show you how to import a model from 3D Sky, which has free models that you can use, and how to get it to work in Rhino. So first let's model this hall. Okay, so let's go to the top. Let's say 20 by 45, something like this. And this will be our base. And from there, I will try to create these areas. So first, I'm gonna count. It's gonna be somewhere around 10 of these. So let's turn on the snaps. So let's say that it has 10 segments, and I'm going to create just one, and then we will copy it later on. So let's create a circle here. I will offset this guy 0.1, and we can mirror this on the top. Let's scale 1D. Let's create a circle. And let's move it down. Let's trim everything. And let's say that this is that shape that we need. I'm going to mirror it here, and now I actually I can delete these guys, and I can use curve boolean to have these areas like this. I'm going to bring them up, and first thing, I will create the small extrusion there. Then I'm going to copy this like so, and I will actually extend it a bit more. Now I'm going to go to the side view, and I'm going to create some kind of let's say we create a rectangle first, and I will use polyline here, and then I'll use this option here to create this nice effect. Let's go to the center, and now I will basically use the control points and have them create my shape. Okay, so let's see if this will work. So I'm going to go to the perspective, and I will extrude these guys here, Boolean split, and that's what I get. So I'm quite happy with it. So I will actually extrude this surface. I will extract this surface. I'll delete the top, and then I will extrude it upward like this. And as you can see here, we cannot see, but I will assume that it's going to connect somewhere around there. So I will simply cover it. I can use, for example, this edge, duplicate edge. I'll resize it like this. I will extrude it like this, and let's extrude it forward like so. And we can also use this guy to cut it and delete the rest. If you don't want to have, if you actually want to have it even cleaner, we can bring it back a bit up and then cut it then, because then you will not have this area here. So that would be the top. And now we can say that this is one of our modules. We can group it. And now we can copy it. So let's go from here to here 10 times. All right. And I'm gonna bring this guy up till there. And I'm gonna extract surface, the top and the bottom. Delete it. And now I have this as a, I'm gonna offset surface. Now let's set distance 0.1 to have this wall created. Let's make it a little bit bigger, 0.5. And now basically I have this area. So let's say that I'm happy with this result. I'm going to basically group these guys, hide them, and one thing that we can do is create this podium there. So let's just have a rectangle here, and I'm gonna approximately create this like so. I'm gonna move this face in the back just for the sake of the tutorial. I'm not sure how this is designed, but for this tutorial we're just going to quickly model something, and let's extrude it in, cap it, and Boolean difference. And let's bring this up also, something like this. So we have this area there, and now let's add, of course, the floor, and let me show you how you can. I'm gonna just extrude the floor just a little bit here. And now I'll show you how you can import the chairs. So you can see here there's a lot of these chairs, and the way to do this is by using the website called 3D Sky. You can actually register, and there's a lot of free models that you can download. So for this particular tutorial I downloaded this model, and once I have it downloaded, I actually opened it in 3ds Max. Because this is a native 3ds Max file. So now once I have this file here, I will just go to export, and I will select here the OBJ extension, and I will navigate to my folder. I will say chair export. And once I have this exported, I will just go to this folder, import it, and I will import the chair directly into Rhino. So let's go to Rhino, and let's say I'm just dragging now the file, say import, and I'll leave everything as is. Okay, all right, I have the chair imported here. It's too big, so let's first group it, and let's scale it. I'm gonna scale it 0.1 and see if that's all right. Actually, it needs to be even smaller, I think. I'll just check the sizing. Okay, so this is approximately the correct size. I'm gonna go to the side view and I will bring this guy. I'll select the vertex so I can select this, and I'll glue it here for the floor. And now we can actually use this geometry as a Rhino geometry. And an interesting thing that you can do is basically have different materials for different elements of the chair. So we'll have this in the wood, and we have the back as white. I'm quickly going to do this now in V-Ray here. I'll show you how to create, let's say that this is plastic material. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna say, you can choose any plastic, and then we can modify it, of course, in later on. So I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna say apply material to selection here, and the bottom I will do in wood. So I will just select some plywood, for example, this one. I'll select edit to the scene, have this render view, and I want to see actually if the texturing is alright. I'll apply the box mapping, and if I'm happy with how the box mapping turned out, I can actually do the same for all three of them. I can say here match mapping is for this guy, match mapping for this one and this one also, and now they'll have the same mapping style. And here is the actual back. It's fine. And once that is done, I will group this, and let's unhide everything. And now I'm going to hide this top. Go to the top view, and I will just populate the scene with these chairs. Okay, so once we have enough chairs, we're just going to set the scene like this and render out and see the result. The last thing I would want to show you here is the light setup. So for this, we will use the dome light, and dome light is, in my opinion, the best for creating photorealistic exteriors and interiors as well. I'll import the dome light with HDRI image, and this image is actually like quite big, and it creates the light based on the information that it has in the file. So now we can do a quick test rendering just to see the result. Let's say that this is the angle that we would like to see. Here you can check here the viewport properties and select the camera lens 35. That's something more for the interiors. And let's say that this is the angle we want. We can go here to the name views and save this angle. Okay, so we have it for later. So if you rotate like this, when you double click here, the angle is still there. So let's select curve, let's hide, and let's see what happens in the rendering. We're going to use interactive render. I'm going to select the default option, and let's see the result. Okay, so as you can see here, the scene is quite dark, which means that we need to adjust the lighting. So we're going to go to the intensity here and bump it up to 150. And let's see what happens. All right, so as you can see, the rendering is the lighting is better. So I'm just going to play around now with the settings here. I'm going to change the actual intensity, and then I might change the rotation here of the HDRI image. And once the rendering is done, I'll show you the final result. So this is the final result. Hope you like the video, and if you have any suggestions or comments for future tutorials, please write them down in the comment section below. Or if you have any other suggestions for any other content that you would like to see on this channel, and if you know somebody that would benefit from these tutorials, please share it. And see you in the next one. Basically that's the result. We're gonna move on. And now we're gonna